Hello everyone. The title of my presentation is Are Public and Private Parks Similar in All Unimportant Aspects? So the entities that I chose today were public versus private parks. So the examples are the Sacramento Public Parks. It could be any public park and that are operated by the Sacramento Parks Department, a local city department. Here's a picture of a few at Tahoe Park and Fremont Park. And then private, my example is Gibson Ranch. It's operated by a former congressman, Doug Osee. It was formerly ran by the city, but was given to Osee a few years back to run, and he is now allowed to take any profit and is in charge of managing the land. I agree that public and private organizations are alike only in all unimportant aspects because the biggest reasons they are dissimilar, different motives, ability to adapt to new situations, and different outside influences and interests, are critically important to how the organizations operate. So my three themes are that one, there are different forces that drive and motivate public and private organizations. Two, the private companies are more quickly able to adapt to new situations. And three, the public organizations have more outside pressure and competing political interests. So the first theme is that there are different forces that drive and motivate public and private organizations. Graham Allison says that private organizations are driven by profit, while public organizations are driven by public good. And this really affects everything that they do. If your motivation is profit, you are likely going to do something different than if your motivation was public good. And also, public companies are held to a different standard because they are for the people and must uphold the Constitution. They have their own entire set of laws besides just anti-corruption sort of laws that they have to uphold. Secondly, private companies are more quickly able to adapt to new situations. So Weber's impersonal rules and requirements and his strict hierarchy make quick changes less likely for public organizations. Taylor and Fayol, with the scientific method and the 14 principles respectively, try and create more efficiency, but sometimes including Taylor's worker is just a mechanism to get a job done, really backfire in efficiency, because Merton would counter and say that this could lead to a lack of flexibility and the tendency to turn means into ends. The workers may just be doing something because they are told to do it and not really thinking on their own. Also, constitutionally, power is more spread out, and therefore change requires buy-in from more people. In parks, it's not just the leader of the parks department who has to sign off on anything. It's the city council, the mayor, other departments, maybe even the state or federal governments if they give any money. There's plenty of different people who are in charge of or who have a say in the parks as opposed to a private company where there's more power at the CEO. Lastly, public organizations have more outside pressure and competing political interests. Frank Goodnow tells us that administration is beholden to politics and therefore is under enormous pressure from them. Goodnow says that there can't be any administration without politics, and therefore what politics says and how they act even after passing the laws puts a lot of pressure on administration. Public parks have to deal with wicked problems. My example from the picture below is homelessness. If a private park or any private company has a homeless man there, they can simply kick him out or call the police. Public parks has more to deal with because if they kick him out, he's still a citizen and all they're doing is kicking the can to someone else. Maybe the mayor said in troubled times that there are certain parks that are open to homeless people at night. And at that point, it's no longer up to the park what to do about the homeless situation, but they have to deal with it. Martin Grodson's cooperative federalism show that pressure and different political interests can come from all sides. This goes back to what I was saying earlier, that there are many different organizations that can sway and have a say over what happens. So, as my picture indicates, if the state puts money, gives the local park money, it always comes with strings. And they'll be asked to do certain activities that they might not want to, and there's pressure from other local agencies to hold events or to do other things. And then there's pressure from the city government itself, like the city council and the mayor, to use the park in certain ways. This is different than a private organization where the power is with the CEO, and they really don't let other companies influence them as much as private organizations do. So in conclusion, I agree public and private organizations are alike in all unimportant aspects. Some important aspects where they are dissimilar are the different driving forces, public good versus profit, private companies' ability to adapt to new situations, and the outside pressure and competing political interests that public organizations face that private companies do not. Thank you.